And they just leave. Like 5 seconds.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal, and welcome to transfer updates and all Arsenal news this Saturday. Beautiful Saturday afternoon, beautiful Saturday morning, wherever you are, and beautiful night, wherever you are. In this video, we'll be talking about, or in this stream, we'll be discussing Ben White's fee agreed with Brighton. We'll be discussing the latest on Locatelli. We will be discussing all the latest on the Rangers game that we're going to play today and all the latest transfer news. And if you're watching this on replay, all the timestamps will be in the description so you can check that out, so it can be easy for you to navigate through the video. And back with me again, Cossy. How are you?
I'm great. How should an Arsenal fan, an Arsenal content creator be after a long time deal that has taken so long be announced our grade? You've got to be well.
Yeah.
You've got to be absolutely fine. And I'm fine. I'm really happy. Really happy.
So we will be talking about Ben White. Cossy's channel is in the description. If you just click the first sentence in the description, you'll see his name there. You can click there and make sure you subscribe to him and make sure you check out his videos. I think the last few weeks, there's a lot of videos on Ben White and Lokonga and all those people you can check out on his channel and on mine. So make sure you do that. But as of now, let's get the party started, as Cossy says on his channel. Let's get the party started. So the first topic is Ben White fee agreed. Finally, I know the medical has not been done. I know all the paperwork's maybe still some process to be done. So, Cossy, how happy are you? You've already told us how happy you are, but explain to us how happy you are that this deal is finally done. And are you surprised it took that long?
Hi everybody on the channel, hope you're doing well. Please do smash a like on the video, and like I said, we will always be with Glenn. We are long time, we are life partners. The two channels are life partners, so make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. If you're from Cossy's Arsenal podcast, always watch his content. So look, I'm so happy, and the reason as to why I'm happy is not because we brought in Ben White, really. Like, many people are trolling us on Twitter and everywhere. Arsenal fans, very happy because they bought Ben White. We've not bought a Sergio Ramos. We've not brought in a Rafael Varane or a Marquinhos. But the reason that's why I'm happy is, one, we've got some business done. We've started getting some business done, and for me that really matters a lot. Time. We said it. We said it on the last show that time is running out and things are not actually working. We have a backup left back and a backup central midfielder alone. What is going on? You've talked about 7 signings, 5 priorities. Where are they? Why aren't they arriving? And that deal arriving last night, I was absolutely happy. I thought maybe this is the start, and it arrived at a time when we were very linked with Manuel Locatelli, and everything was moving out, and we shall speak about that, I know, but it came out for me at the right time when Arsenal fans were so desperate. When I was desperate as a person, it came out. Am I surprised it took so long? No. I don't think I'm absolutely. I don't think I'm surprised. It took so long. First and foremost, we had the Euros in there. We had the Euros, and everybody knows how signing in players when you have either World Cup in the summer or you have the Euros in the summer is gonna be hard. Ben White has been in the Euros, and things were always gonna be very, very hard. And then the other thing, I think because the update we had almost 2 days ago from Peter O'Rourke on the terrace, he said Ben White told Brighton he wants this deal to get done within the next few days, so that he goes into his holiday after the deal is done, after everything is agreed, and that is what has happened. So basically, for me, it's the Euros first and foremost, and I think Arsenal also wanted a compromise, and of course, we know Arsenal, they always want a compromise. Brighton were very clear; they wanted £50 million in guaranteed payments. They were never going to change that. They were never going to think otherwise. On that, Arsenal, of course, being Arsenal, we wanted a compromise. We had a 40 million bid rejected, a 47 million bid rejected, and finally took us almost 1.5 weeks to elevate from 47 million to 50. And that really happens with Arsenal. It really happens with our transfers. That is Arsenal. You've, unless you were born yesterday and you started Arsenal, supporting Arsenal today, in the Ben White transfer era, we've been linked with Karim Benzema. We've been linked with Gonzalo Higuain. We've been linked with Thomas Partey for almost a whole summer, and then we triggered his release clause on in the last hours of deadline day. Yeah. So I'm not really surprised it took so long. But like Fabrizio says, big money moves are not. You're never gonna do big money moves, that easily. They're gonna take time. The payment structure is going to take time. How much are we going to pay? It's going to take time. The installments, it's going to take time to discuss things like that. And in the end, you're going to find yourself in 2 or 3 weeks, discussing a 55 or 50 million pound deal. And we don't know what really happens behind the scenes, because at least we know Arsenal didn't have Ben White as their priority. Our priority was Edmund Tapsoba from Leverkusen, 70 million pounds. I straight away I knew we were never going to pay that. We were never going to get him. So we never know what's going on. What was going on behind the scenes. It's almost the same issue with our situation. Houssem Aouar. It's just a very easy deal. Get the 20 million euros or 25 million euros and pay it, and get the player. But what is actually funny, what is actually difficult, is Arsenal is thinking about a player who's even more expensive than Houssem Aouar. So at times transfers are not that easy. But I think Arsenal have done the right decision. Ben White, will he work? Will he not work? That is for the future. That is for time to tell. We don't have the time machines unless someone has it. But for me, I don't have it. So nobody can absolutely come here and tell me he's not gonna work. You're overpaid. Things like that. No, it is time to tell us. So. Getting out David Louis and William Saliba out on loan. Of course, that was definitely we're going to bring in a centre back. He's in. We've agreed a deal in principle. He's going to do his medicals very soon. Yeah, I'm happy, and I think we need to do more. That is it. Need to do more now.
So I know you mentioned the Euros, but United were able to announce, at least not confirm, but announce in principle that they had signed Sancho, so that any other team that wants him cannot actually come for him in that period. Why can't Arsenal do that? Just announce it and then get the paperwork done late.
Well, I think at the beginning of this this summer transfer window, one of the most hardworking journalists that I've seen has been Chris Whitley, and he came out and said Arsenal would prefer to do much of their work underground. So the fact that we are not announcing deals, ahead of players holding shirts, maybe it reveals that, because most of our work, apart from those journalists that really get out sensitive information, most of the other players we've been linked with, the likes of Joan Correa, the likes of Pierre, they've been fake news. They've been absolute fake news. Our work has been really secretive, very, very secretive. And at this point in time, apart from those big journalists that have actually come out, no one has broken up, apart from, I think, AFC Bell, no one has broken a very surprising story. It is only AFC Bell that has broken the Maddison story. And everybody's like, wow, Arsenal, what Maddison? Really? You understand? Mm-hmm. So I think we are trying to do our business, as secretively as possible. But with transfers, with the transfer window, it's it can never be kept a secret unless you're signing Matt Ryan, because that one can be kept a secret. It was until he was announced.
So Ben White's definitely coming to play in that position where Holding and Saliba and Luiz were going to play. So did you really want a Ben White, or did you want someone to come and directly replace Luis, someone who already has the experience like a Luis or like a Ramos, someone like that?
Yeah, when I spoke about when I was speaking about Arsenal prioritizing a centre back, I said it won't make sense for me if you signed in a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old at this point in time. It wouldn't make sense for me. I wanted someone like look, this is crazy, but I wanted someone like a Kalidou Koulibaly, experienced. He has the experience. He's a complete article. He's a finished article, in terms of a centre back. I wanted someone like that, and the reason as to why I wanted someone like that is you get so many things in one package. You get the leadership, you get the experience, you get the mentality, you get the character, you get so many things in one package, and of course you get the talent. You're paying for many things for one thing, and you're getting many things from such a player. I would have done a Sergio Ramos, honestly, on a 2-year contract. I would have done a Sergio Ramos, but I'm okay with Ben White. With Ben White. I think the beauty we have with Ben is next season his focus is on the Premier League, a league that he's used to. By the time by the time we get to compete in Europa and get to compete in the Champions League, he will have settled at Arsenal, and he will have found those at least his feet will have become bigger, to sit into the shoes of David Louis and probably the likes of Laura Koscielny. Because for me, I think Laura Koscielny was never properly replaced, honestly. He was injury prone, but when he was on the pitch, he meant business. There was a difference. And Arsenal having Laura Koscielny and Arsenal that didn't have Laura Koscielny. So, look, I didn't want the edges of Ben White. I wanted a centre back that was around 26 to 27 years and above. Because literally, I have Gabriel, who's young. I just need someone with a lot of experience. I need someone who can command that defense. But 23 years of age, I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad age. Only 2 years away from 25, and then your career is ripe. So Ben White, no problem. Rather, if you ask me whether I would have gone for someone older, yeah. I would have gone for someone. I would have done a Koulibaly, or I would have done a Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, Ramos, obviously, there was rumors that you actually bid for him, but obviously didn't want to join us. So now let's take a look at the 3 positions Ben White can play at Arsenal. The first one, the obvious one, is as a centre-back right next to Gabriel. And so the first question is, do you want us to play a back 2 or a back 3? Which formation do you want us to play with Ben White? Which one do you think suits him best?
He's a ball-playing centre back, right? And I was looking at some of his strength today in the morning, and one journalist very close to Brighton was saying that his strength are ball passing, and then driving the ball from the back into the midfield. I think for a defender like that, then you could say playing a back 3 would be would suit him, because it helps you to play as a team. But again, for me, if I look at him, one of his weaknesses is playing in the air. So it means, yes, he has a lot of awareness, but he's not so good in the air. He's actually not good in the air. I would play him in a back 2 with Gabriel, because what Gabriel gives him is the perfect complementarity, the perfect partner. Yes, Ben, you're tall enough, but you're not good in the air, but you have a lot of awareness. I think Gabriel has some awareness, but if Ben White's awareness is better, and he can clear the ball better, and he can start off runs better, then Gabriel's work will be to give in the blocks, because we know Gabriel is so good at blocking, as well as good in the air. So I think play him in the back 2, where he has a partner that he can trust in Gabriel Magalhaes in the air. He will trust Gabriel in the air, and then Gabriel will trust Ben White in terms of in things like awareness, and then playing the ball, and then things like man marking or marking the space. But one of the problems I've had with Rob Holding, and I said it this early morning, that it's been awareness, his lack of awareness. The moment you lose a header to Raheem Sterling, the moment you lose a header to Jota, because it takes Jota to run at least 4 or 5 steps to jump high. You understand?
Yeah.
to jump high, in order to win a header against Rob Holding. Even if Rob Holding is standing still and he jumps, he can jump higher than Raheem Sterling after Raheem Sterling splints. But the moment you lose a header to Jota, the moment you lose a header to Raheem Sterling, it is one thing you lack awareness, and that is what I pray Ben White doesn't lack. If he has the awareness, I'll play him in the back two, and he will be very comfortable, absolutely comfortable.
Okay, so that is the first position, and the next position is actually right back, because I saw him playing on both sides, on the left and the right for Brighton. So the reason I actually think we won't sign a right back is because we still have Chambers at the club, we still have Cedric at the club. I don't think either of them will leave. Bellerin will leave, so that leaves us with two players who can play as a right back. Remember, Niles is still at the club. That is three, and Ben White's another one who can cover that position. Do you think? Would you want to see him in that position, or only if we really need to have him if you have injuries and stuff?
In a back four, I don't think. I mean, I want two players that are centre backs, and that is all. I want two players that should play 100 games for Arsenal as the centre back pairing, and that is it. So that we can build that, connection, we can build that understanding that at least players like Virgil van Dijk and probably Matip have had, or at least Piqué and Puyo that have those kind of connections. I've seen one that I've really loved so much. It was Neven Sabotic and Matt Hummels. Sabotic has never been that top class defender, never. But the brilliance of Matt Hummels was just enough, and and the role of Sabotic was just to complement him as a defender. Do what I'm not doing, as simple as that. Do what I do, what I don't do. Stretch to areas where I cannot reach. So I don't want to see Ben White spreading as a right back, playing as a no. I want to see him as a centre back, partnering someone for 100 games, so that everyone in their head will know Arsenal centre back pairing is Ben White and Murray, or Ben White and Gabriel, or Ben White and whoever it's gonna be. So I don't want to see him in that right back unless there is a lot of need. Yeah, maybe if you ask me in a back three, if it's a back three, then it's fine. You might have him as playing up the right side. Then you have maybe Gabriel and Tierney, or Gabriel and Murray. Maybe, but I don't want to see him, alternating through positions in a season, playing 36 games, and sharing those appearances in three positions. And I know Mikel Arteta is capable of that, and I don't want to see it, honestly. I don't want.
Okay, the third and final position is central midfield. Now, I always say that I wanted to see David Luiz playing in that position, because at Chelsea, he actually covered in that position a couple of games. At Arsenal, there's a time Luiz was put in that position, I think, in the Europa League, and then he got injured in the first 30 minutes, so we never really got to see him. Do you think he can do a job there in central midfield next to a party, maybe if you're trying to defend against a Liverpool or a City or something?
Yeah, I think he can, and the reason as to why I say I think he can is, as a player, he's so calm, very, very concentrated. His concentration levels are so high, very, very high. So the good thing, if you play him there with a lot of, he's very calm. He's never gonna pick up so many yellow cards. He's never gonna pick up so many red cards for you, and is never gonna commit those fouls in those dangerous areas. That's the first thing. But it remains to be seen if he has the skill set to do that, because in modern football, it's not all about get the ball and pass it. It's all about when you get the ball, how do you dictate in that area? How do you dictate the midfield? So it remains to be seen what kind of skill set does he have as a player. Is he really so good at ball playing? Is he so good at passing? When it comes at a big club, what's going to be his, because his stats are all going to change. Passing accuracy will change, concentration will change, ABCD will change. Because at Arsenal, one of the things you have is you have the opportunity to dominate at least 15 teams or 14 teams in the league. You have that opportunity, right? At Brighton, you're dominated by almost 12 or 13 clubs in the league. So it's going to be a new stage. It's going to be a new stage. I would play him there if there is need. Like Pate is injured and Lokonga is injured, maybe. But without that, no, I'll leave him as a centre back. I'll just groom him as a centre back.
Yeah, that brings me to the next point, which we've talked about the last couple of days, and it's the best attribute that he has. He mentioned he played 36 games last season out of 38 in a busy season, in a season where the games are congested from September, almost the middle of September to May.
Yeah.
The season usually starts at the beginning of August, so we missed like almost 2 months. So the fixtures had to be congested, and he played almost every game. In the championship, I remember it still shocks me. The fact that he played, I think he only missed like one game in the championship, one game in an entire season.
Played 46, right?
In the championship, that's actually every game in the championship. That is very hard. They actually play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. Saturday, Wednesday, that's a very hard league. And he actually played every single game. So durability, Cossy. Do you think this is a very important aspect that is going to add to the team? Because last season, Luis, 2 games injured, 3 games injured. He actually missed the important part of the season when we were playing Villarreal. Same with Tierney, missed when we were playing with Villarreal. Gabriel missed a few games last season. Pablo Mari missed. He was out for almost a year. So do you think Ben White, without any injuries, he can actually bring something to Arsenal like durability? Do you think it's that important?
Yeah, I've always said it, and I've always believed that in this window, you must bring in a player who has something that has not been in the squad that is, but it is very important. And I think durability is one of the things. And I think you said it in the morning that almost 5 players, right from the goalkeeper, have to have the durability. They must be able to play 30 games consistently, at least 20 games consistently, right? So I think that the durability is one thing that we have lacked, especially in terms, there are players that will appear for you and have 3 bad games, but they are still appearing, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal doesn't have that. Look at that midfield. Thomas Partey, how many games was he out injured? Emil Smith, a lot of rotation. Mohamed El Neni, again, the quality doesn't allow him to be durable. Look at up front. Look at the defense itself. No one is durable. So if he gives us that we have a player, because a durable player is a player you build on. That's the one thing you have. A durable player is a player you build on. Like Bayern will build on Manuel Neuer. That is like, that's it. He's always available. He's always there. They'll build on Robert Lewandowski. He's always there, right?
Yeah.
So So I think it's a very important aspect, and I think we should bring in more players that have the ability to do that. The quality and the ability to play more and more games. It helps really. The more you get your starting 11 together, the better. I mean, yes, it makes it predictable, but it is easy for you to beat the likes of Brighton, to beat the likes of Sheffield, because you just know how. I mean, when Ken makes a pass, Son knows where it's gonna go. When Fabregas makes a pass, Van Persie knows where it's gonna go, and it comes from these guys playing together for some time. It doesn't come from being so good. No, the connection, matters a lot, and I think it's one thing that's really gonna help us. If Tierney stops getting those injuries, and you also have Ben White, you have two players that could be durable. I believe Tierney could be, could be very, very durable as well. It's only the injuries, but I think it's a very
having one squad is very important. Like there's a relationship you have to create with different people in the team. Tierney has to create a relationship with, if it's Aubameyang in front of him and Gabriel next to him. He needs to know when he's going, when he's coming back. Partey needs to know who's behind him, who's next to him, who's on his right, and all that. I mentioned the other day again, Chelsea back in 2005, I think they conceded like 11 goals an entire season. 11 goals an entire season. 11 goals, that is the same number of goals Arsenal would concede in 3 games. They considered that in an entire season. They had Carvalho, John Terry, Gallas, and I think Ferreira playing every single game, and Peter Cech behind them. United as well, Vidic, Ferdinand, I think Gary Neville, Evra, they used to play a lot of games. You create an understanding with the goalkeeper knows the weakness of this player and the weakness of this player. But if today you're playing with Tini, tomorrow it's Xhaka playing as left back, tomorrow it's Saka playing as a left back, it doesn't bode well for the team. So Ben White, that is the one thing he's going to add to Arsenal durability. He played the last three seasons. I think he actually missed a total of like 4 to 5 games. That is very few compared to Arsenal players. Apart from Xhaka, every single Arsenal player last season missed games. Lacazette, Tierney, Bellerin, Pablo Mari, Martinelli, all of them had injuries at some point. So that is a very good aspect. So Ben White deal agreed. We are hoping the medical will be done soon and he will be an Arsenal player. Probably not in time for the United States tour, probably in time for the Chelsea and Tottenham fixtures at the beginning of August in the preseason. So that's the first topic we're going to talk about, Ben White. So the second topic, Cossy, obviously yesterday Arsenal released their new home kit. It has taken a bit of time this time round. I think last time it was released fast, so a bit of time this time round. So first question for you, out of 10, what do you rate the new Arsenal kit out of 10?
The home kit?
Yeah.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one, really. I mean, it doesn't look so bad like when like when we had first seen the pictures. Because when I saw the first pictures, I was like, damn, this is bad. This is Ajax FC things like that. But it looks like an Ajax jersey, by the way. If you're honest, it looks like
it does.
Yeah, it does look like the Ajax jersey. But I think it's not so bad. I would give them a 7. I'd give them a 7. If that's fine. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's gonna look bad, and I pray I get it in its in its original quality. It's not bad.
So I think I put up in my community tab, and people voted, and people actually wrote down their comments, and there was a lot of 7s, as you said, 7.5. Personally, gave it a 7.5. There are a lot of 6s as well, even a 5. I don't think you can compare it to last season. So let's try to compare it to last season. Which one do you prefer, from the one from last season and the one for next season? Which one is better according to you? What was your rating for the kit from last season?
I think last season was better. It looked good for me. It really looked good. My rating was around 8. My rating was around 8 for last season. I think last season, if this one, if these Adidas stripes are in the ribs, right? Then it looks good, but that too much white for me doesn't make it for me. I would still go with the first one, that of last season. It looks good.
That one from last season, I actually gave it almost a 9. That's my favorite kit. That's the one I'm wearing right now. I really love the one from last season. So another comparison you're going to do is between the home kit and the away kit. Which one will you be wearing most of the time next season?
I mean, what I like about this yellow is it has dark colors that actually bring it down a little bit. It has dark
from
colors
being too bright.
From being too bright. And when I look at Nicola Pepe in this jersey, I feel he's smart. Honestly, I just I just feel he's smart. But are we gonna be putting on this yellow most of the time in our games?
Yeah, that's the one you're going to be putting on. I'm waiting to see the third kit, but I'm assuming like against Liverpool, that's the one you're going to wear against those kind of teams, even Chelsea away. That's the one you're going to wear most of the times.
I think the yellow kit is okay. What do you think? I think it's better. It's a little bit better than the red one. If you're going to criticize it, you're going to criticize it for the color.
I think you're actually right, spot on in terms of not being too bright. At least they added some dark colors in terms of... Exactly. Obviously, you can go into detail like the way Robbie did yesterday on his unboxing, like if how the badge is fixed, all that. But personally, I actually rate them the same. I actually give both of them 7.5, both of them. I'd wear the yellow one most better. I think the away kit for this season is better than the one for last season. The white with the almost like blood spilled on the kit, I didn't like it. So for me, away kit. Let us know in the chat which one you prefer, like in terms of the home kit and away kit, which one you prefer, and from last season's home kit and this season's home kit, which one you prefer. So Cossy said away kit and he prefers the last season's home kit. So I kind of agreed. I definitely agree with him. So that was the kit unveiling. Let's see. Let's wait for the third kit. I don't know which color the third kit is going to be, but I'm happy that it has the difference in the kit. It's not too same from last season. It's literally changed everything, like from white to yellow. So let's see the third kit. Let's wait and see the third kit. So the next topic is Aouar. So Cossy, Aouar is not joining Arsenal. What do you make of that? And did you really want him? Because we've literally been linked to him for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, I mean, the longest transfer saga ever. And it might not come home, honestly. It might not come home. What would be baffling for me is if he goes to Spurs. That's the first thing I want to talk about. If he goes to Spurs, it will hurt. It will honestly hurt if he goes to Spurs. But the information around Houssem is a little bit, I don't know how I should say it. It's a little bit confusing. Yesterday, Alexis Bernard said Arsenal were threatening to drop out of this, to drop out, to walk away from the deal. Their offer, which is below 20 million euros, is not going to be upgraded. So Arsenal not upgrading their offer. Leon is saying we need 20 to 25 million euros. If you do not have that money, you're not getting the player. United is reportedly interested now. Liverpool is reportedly interested, and Spurs have made an official offer, which is a swap deal for Tanguy Ndombele, and in a swap deal for Houssem Aouar. I would have loved Aouar at Arsenal, honestly. Quality player, a very quality player with a lot of potential for just 20 million euros. That is a bargain. Yeah. No one doesn't want such a player, honestly. There is no person that's gonna say, I don't like Houssem Aouar. At least if you're not attracted by his statistics, you'll be attracted by the price. He's a very, very young player, very good player, and price is so low. But I'm starting to believe maybe at the beginning of this transfer window, he was not our priority. Maybe Arsenal were not thinking of. Maybe we are linked with him because of the price. Maybe we are interested because of the price dropping drastically. But it looks like our priorities were either Camavinga or Manuel Locatelli. I don't think we picked up interest from in Locatelli in the Euros. No, it looks like we've been following him. If you look at how persistent Arsenal are in the past, despite Ventus threatening on how big they are and how how they are in the driving seat and how persistent we are on Manuel, it shows Houssem Aouar was not our priority, just like Bissouma. It's either we wanted Camavinga or Manuel Locatelli, and if we failed on those ones, our backup would be Ruben Neves. Maybe I'm starting to believe Houssem Aouar and Bissouma will never play for Arsenal. I'm starting to believe them.
Bissouma, I don't think will sign Bissouma for sure. I always say I don't think Bissouma will ever play for Arsenal, and I definitely don't think Saliba will ever play for Arsenal. Next season we'll sell him, unfortunately. So, that is Aouar. So Aouar, do you think his value has dropped from last season? Because I think his price has also gone down rapidly from last season. Do you think is not like the previous season he had a very good season, and then last season he didn't have a great season, and his value has dropped?
Not really. If you look at last season, actually, Houssem Aouar, he played 31 games, the same number of games as James Maddison, right? He scored 7 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah.
He directly got involved in 10. Yeah.
Is that enough?
Maybe not enough. But what I want to say, but for a central midfielder, the numbers are good. For a central midfielder, the numbers are very the numbers are very, very good.
Better than what we have for sure.
Yeah, better than 100 times better than what we have. Because Xhaka, how many goals does Xhaka have? 1?
Literally every single midfielder in the last 5 years. Guendouzi, Partey, Torreira, Xhaka. How many goals have those guys? I don't think there's anyone. El Neni did score a couple of bangers, as you call them, like 3 of them, but we never have goals from midfield. Like, it's been a problem for like 5 years straight. Xhaka only scores from free kicks, never scores any kind of goal. So he's definitely adding something new. And as we said, as long as someone is adding something new, something you don't have, I'll take him. If you get a right back who can take on players, something Bellerin can't do, I'll take him. If you're getting Ben White, someone who can play 38 games in a season, I'll take him. So Aouar, as you're saying, 7 goals, 3 assists could be enough for us.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. And if you look at how many central midfielders have scored those number of goals last season, you're gonna ask yourself how many did Fred score? How many did McTominay score? How many did Thiago score? How many did Kevin De Bruyne score? How many did you're gonna as a central midfielder, your basic role is get this ball from receive it from the defenders or from the goalkeeper, it depends, and then make that second assist, right? And if you look at Houssem Aouar, he did that brilliant well. If you look at his heat map for last season, it is decent. He's really busy. And for me, the numbers are okay. 3 assists directly and 7 goals for a central midfielder. That is brilliant. That is really brilliant. I think why his price has dropped. I'm still asking myself. One of the reasons, one is we looked at him in the Champions League last season, but one. Last season, Lyon didn't participate in the Champions League. And many people actually don't notice that he had better numbers last season than the previous season in the French League 1. He had better numbers. But many people only watched him on their screens in the Champions League, right? So if you ask them,
when he was playing against City,
exactly, and they did watch many games. They only watched him when he was playing against City, right? So when you ask them, so how many games have you watched Houssem Aouar in the French League 1 last season? They'll be like, I didn't watch him. Did he play? He didn't. And many people will actually lie and say he did. He was not. He was so inconsistent. He didn't play games. He played 31 games in that season, guys. Exactly. So just to think about it, I think the price could have dropped, one, because Lyon are desperate. That's the first thing. Yeah, Lyon are very desperate, to get in money. This summer, have they sold someone? No. Last summer, did they sell anyone? No. And we know with Lyon, they're like Dortmund. They're like, and that's why I was very sure Jadon Sancho would move, even if it weren't for United, he would move, because I knew Dortmund always sells someone. Lyon always sells someone, right? And of course, exactly.
Leicester as well.
Leicester as well. So if you look at their loss last season, I think in the last financial year, it is 40 million euros. They've got to patch it up. They need to go in the market to try to bring in some new players and probably get into Champions League qualification places. They don't have money. They're in a difficult financial situation. I think that's one of the reasons maybe the price has dropped. I don't think it is for the quality of the player. I really don't think.
Okay, so Aouar won't be joining Arsenal, unfortunately, but knowing Arsenal, you might end up seeing him coming from nowhere, just like we did with Partey last season. So
exactly.
Let's see how that works out. The next one you're going to talk about, the last couple of topics, the next one is Locatelli. So to cover both topics at the same time, Locatelli and Ruben Neves. Which one do you really want, Cossy? Locatelli or Ruben Neves? Which one impresses you much? I've seen a couple of your videos where you're doing like what is it called? Like watching their goals and their skills and everything. Which one do you prefer? Which one do you think has the better passing accuracy? Which one do you think will do a job for us in midfield? Which one will bring more goals? Which one will be a better partner for Partey? Which one do you prefer?
Right. With Ruben Neves and Manuel Locatelli, I think both of them want to be a little bit similar, and then at some point in time they differ so much. Manuel Locatelli is more of a player who wants to be like, he wants to go forward so much. He wants those runs. He wants to. He's almost a half 8, half 10. He's almost a hybrid in those positions. With the good thing with Ruben Neves is he gives you that security when he's playing with Thomas Partey. He's always gonna release, Thomas Partey. He's always gonna free up Thomas Partey, which Manuel Locatelli doesn't do. Actually, but if you look at both players, Locatelli ties down Partey to that spot. He ties him down to being that CDM. Neves gives Partey the freedom to do whatever he wants in that midfield because Neves is very good at tackling and Neves is very, very good at interceptions. So his defensive part of the game is good. Locatelli, his defensive part of the game is not so good. But if you ask me, what do Arsenal need starting next season? We need a better quality press. We need someone that creates more chances. And we need someone who can actually get involved in short creating actions. That is Manuel Locatelli. And if I know you watch my channel. I've always said it that I would prefer Locatelli because he's a direct antidote to one of our problems. A CDM who is dormant, right? A CDM who is very, very dormant, and that is Xhaka. So I think he just gives us the opposite of what Xhaka is, and I would take him. Passing accuracy is fine. I think that he just needs to up his defensive part of the game. He needs to work on that as well. But I would take Manuel Locatelli. Why I would take Ruben Neves, maybe on the other side, is the Premier League experience because he's got it, and he's also talented. Really, many people actually don't realize how talented Ruben is. He's very talented. Watch his clips. Go and watch his clips, guys. He's very, very talented. He gives you one of the best experiences as a CDM, as a CM, as a central midfielder. Very, very talented. So, but for me, I'm going with Manuel. I'll go with Manuel. If we can get a chance to convince him to come to us, no, I prefer Manuel.
Okay, 90 people watching on YouTube, 50 people watching on Facebook. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Really appreciate it. And Cossy's link is in the description. I'll be on his channel later on today. I think Arsenal is playing like in an hour, so we'll go out to watch that. Will you be doing a watch along?
Yeah, I think I should I?
Yeah, you should. Yeah. So before we get into that, okay, let's get into that straight away. So Rangers against Arsenal later today. Yeah. Obviously, the last friendly we played didn't go to plan. We ended up losing. I watched the game back again, and just like Arsenal every single season, both goals probably should not even have stood. The first one obviously should have stood. The second one was definitely offside, and our penalty should definitely have been retaken. The goalkeeper was way off his line, but well, we're not going to discuss that. That's just Arsenal as always. But some of the players we saw in that squad weren't really fascinating. They didn't really please us at all. Kolasinac, Willian, those kind of players we saw, no one wanted to see those kind of players on the pitch. And we ended up losing to Hibernian, a team that finished third, a team that actually lost 6-0 to Rangers 3 years ago. So does that mean the Rangers will beat us by 7 goals? Or what does that mean? So preview for Arsenal against Rangers. What are you expecting in this game, and what changes do you want to see?
Yeah, many people have actually told me, Cossy, we lost to Hibernian. What about Rangers? They were unbeaten in the league, things like that. And it really doesn't really mean that when you lose to Hibernian, you can't beat Rangers. We didn't lose to Manchester United this season, did we? Last season?
Yeah, I think we lost to them in the last 2 seasons or something.
Yeah, did we beat Burnley in any game?
We didn't.
So football is football.
Chelsea home and away. Yeah,
exactly. And we beat Chelsea home and away. So football is football, really. But for me, this game means a lot for Arsenal and Mikel. First and foremost, our fitness levels are very low. I don't know if anyone has noticed that.
Yeah.
Right. These men,
obviously because they've come late, but some of them don't look like they want to be here.
Yeah. These men, I don't know what they've been eating, but are heavy. They are heavy.
Yeah.
I think they need some military training, something like that. Honestly, they are so heavy. I mean, the attitude is also not yet back. I don't know whether it is because of the Hibernian game, because they look disinterested. They didn't take it as anything. But look, this is now our second game inside preseason. Mikel knows it's now to decide who do I want, as part of my squad, who is not going to qualify as part of my squad. If Sid Kolasinac is not going to be part of our squad, this is where we drop him.
Yeah.
If Willian is not part of us, this is when we drop him. If anyone is not part of us, this is where we drop him. And for me, I don't like the losing streak. Many people are going to say, because it is preseason, we shall wait for Brentford. Brentford is not an easy game away from home. Not really easy. So I think we need to prepare in time. It is 4 weeks away, and you can't keep losing games. Let us start winning games so that by the time we go into preseason, we start the season. At least we know what it feels like to win a game. No,
Yeah.
we shouldn't create a losing streak. So it's like, but for me, it's gonna be a tactical battle between two young managers. I think that is what's going to be interesting, really to watch. Two young managers. What does Mikel Arteta do, and what does Steven Gerrard do? Two young managers that are highly rated. Gerrard winning that unbeaten run, in the Scottish, Premiership. Big up to them, and they're so good. And the other thing I want to see about Mikel is a plan B. He wants to play possessive football. Rangers are very possessive, very, very possessive. Honestly, if you've seen them in the Europa League, I don't want to say in the Scottish Premier League, but if you look at if you look at their quality of football in the Europa League, they're impressive, really impressive. So it's a battle between Mikel and Mikel and Gerrard, but it's a big test for Gerrard. A very big test for Mikel, not Gerrard, but Mikel Arteta. If you're playing against Rangers, a side that has the ball, that wants to keep the ball, what is your strategy? How do you break them down? Right? That is it. It is like the lower version of Manchester City. How do you win a game where you don't have the ball all the time? And because against Hibernian, we saw it when Hibernian had the ball, we struggled. We surely struggled. And again, this is another time when I think Mikel needs to put his blueprint in this team. What exactly do you want to see? What exactly are you building into this side? And for me, that's what I want to see. We might lose, we might win. I said it. I might not care, but how do we lose? Are we, the one of the good things about Arsene Wenger, and why many fans still love him up to now, is he gave them that brand of football they could identify with. With Mikel, there was no brand of football. Absolutely no brand of football. And I think at this point in time, he's got to create that, honestly.
So Rangers, as you said, not an easy team. They finished the entire season unbeaten. And Gerrard and Arteta, former rivals. I remember when they used to play for Liverpool and Everton, Merseyside derby, they used to hate each other in midfield. So another very, very good battle. So I know the squad is about to come out, but before that, this was my predicted lineup. Let me know what changes you'd make to that team. Would you want Tierney or Tavares to play as the left backs, or which one do you want to see?
Right. Tavares, I would keep Tavares in there. Bellerin, I had selected Bellerin, but I put him out. I had selected Bellerin, but I put him out because he has high chances of leaving. So I would replace Bellerin with either Cedric or Chambers or anyone that is available.
Yeah.
But I think it is Cedric. Cedric played in the first game. Omar Rekik and Pablo Mari, I would love to see that again. I would love to see that again. Partey with El Neni, not Partey with Niles. So I put out Martin Niles. Emil Smith Rowe, brilliant. I would keep in. I would keep him in. Pepe, Lacazette. No, I wouldn't play Lacazette actually. I would play Pepe, Balogun, and Aubameyang. Reece Nelson had a good game in the first round, but I want Aubameyang to get on the score sheet. I want to switch him back. This is the time we have to switch him back. We can't just keep praying. I hope Aubameyang comes back. Let him show that to us in the preseason. If he can score 5 preseason goals, maybe our Aubameyang is there. But if he fails to even average 2 or 3 goals in preseason, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna really be hard for him to come back. Yeah.
So, what is your prediction for the game?
Arsenal 2, Rangers 1.
Arsenal 2, Rangers 1. Now, I said Hibernian was our easiest game, and Rangers is our second easiest game. Next up, we have Inter Milan, Everton probably in US, Tottenham, Chelsea. So the games are getting harder and harder. So as I look for the real lineup, someone said the real lineup is out. We'll take a few comments from the chat. Jason says, try Niles in there, would you?
No.
Would you sell him?
No, I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell him. I don't start him. I'll bring him in maybe in the 60s, or in the 70s. I don't start him. I wasn't really. He was so basic against Ibanian. Very basic. So basic.
Yeah. Here comes another of the comments that Cossy hates. Fleazy says, why would Locatelli downgrade? Yeah.
People. I always say this, and I said it today in the morning, and I'll say it again. Transfers are not cleaning your house, right? It's not as easy as that. Like saying, why would I use dirty water to clean my house? There's a lot involved. There's a lot involved in transfers, right? There's a lot involved in transfers. That's why you see players, they regret. At times, players do regret, and like, I shouldn't have done this move. So, Manuel Locatelli joining Arsenal, okay, let's call it a downgrade. First and foremost, you're not downgrading from the Italian Serie A to the Premier League. It's not a downgrade. Sassuolo to Arsenal, it's not a downgrade. You're getting more money. It's not a downgrade, right?
Yeah.
Sassuolo are not in the Champions League. You're gonna be watched more. Sassuolo are not in the Champions League. You're not downgrading in any way. Actually, that person should make that statement make sense, because it doesn't make sense, really.
Yeah.
Unless it thinks the player plays for Juve. The player doesn't play for Juve. The player only thinks of playing for Juve. He doesn't play for Juventus.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. RK says, great stream, Glenn and Cossy. As usual, that $5 I'll try and send and try and fund the Madison transfer. Let's try and get Madison. Let's try and send this money to Kroenke and try and get that transfer done. Let's see. Kim Z says, Kim Z, silly question. I think is going to Juve. I think that's Locatelli. I think probably as well. Number 10, there's been a couple of people talking about the number 10. Do you think Smith will be given the number 10? Do you think he's already been given the number 10?
Well, it's hard. It's hard to predict. After AFC Bell saying that Madison has been granted the offer to put on shirt number 10, it is really hard to predict. But I think Emil Smith Rowe will have a new number, probably shirt number 8. I think he might put on the shirt number 8.
Personally, which one do you want him to wear?
10 is fine for me. 10 is fine. Yeah, I would give him that shirt number 10 to motivate him. That just like Xhaka got a 7, I would motivate him with a shirt number 10.
Okay, so Rangers against Arsenal. Thank you very much, Cossy, for coming on.
Brilliant, bro. Thank you so much for having me.
So I've had the real lineup is out. I think I've seen Okonkwo, I've seen Cedric, I've seen Pablo Mari, Tavares is starting. That is a good thing. Last question: what do you want to see from Tavares today?
Really, I don't know what I should say about that, but because I don't want to put him a lot of
like good defending. Do you want to see him attacking well? Which one do you really want to see today?
I want to see how solid he is, in terms of defending the ball, because that is the first thing you've got to do in the Premier League. How solid are you? Then the rest come later. I mean, we don't talk about Bissaka because Bissaka is a very good defender. So how can he stand his ground? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, exactly. So before we go, the lineup is Okonkwo in goal, Cedric Holding is playing Cossy. Holding and Pablo Mari and Tavares on the left, Partey and El Neni in the middle, Smith Rowe the number 10, Pepe, Aubameyang, does this mean Aubameyang on the left, and Balogun is starting. So
yeah,
that was
my predicted lineup.
Yeah. I think I failed on. I didn't think Balogun. Did they put Balogun in the starting lineup? I don't think so. It's Ketia dropped, Lacazette on the bench, Willian dropped, Kolasinac dropped, Tierney on the bench, Chambers on the bench. So are you changing your prediction?
No, I'm not.
Okay, last few comments. Isaac says, great to have you guys here. I pray Arsenal sign Madison. Thank you. Dale says, I'll have Bissouma over Locatelli. Would you have Bissouma over Locatelli?
No.
You'd have Locatelli first?
I'll have Locatelli first. Look, with Neves is a very good player, and has had a very good, interesting season. at Brighton. But for me, I feel he's more of his abilities are more specific than that of Manuel Locatelli. More specific, very very he's a very specialized player, and I think what we get, some of the things we get in him, we already have in a Partey. We already have in have in Thomas Partey. I want someone who can do things Partey doesn't have. I want someone who's a more of a risk taker going forward. And I think, Bissouma will do everything in terms of risking to protect the back line. But I need someone who risks to go forward. That's why I'll take Manuel first.
Awesome. And last comment, let me answer Fleazy Rashford, who says Maddison from potential Champions League. Listen, Maddison was not picked for the Euros. The World Cup is next year. If you're Maddison, you want to go to the World Cup next year. If Arsenal come for you right now, Tottenham come for you right now, and United come for you right now. If you go to United, you'll just end up like Van der Beek. There's Pogba there, there's Bruno Fernandes there, there's so many other players there. Leicester are not in the Champions League. That is the second reason. It's all about yourself as well, your personal career. Yes, titles matter and all that, but people think about their personal life as well and where their personal careers are going, international-wise. Which team is better for me? Yes, you might not win the Champions League with Arsenal, but will Arsenal or Tottenham give you a better chance of playing and going to the World Cup next season? Yes. Chelsea have way too many midfielders. United have way too many midfielders in that position. Arsenal don't have, Tottenham don't have. And Leicester not in the Champions League. More money, as Cossy said earlier, you're going to get more money. Whether we like it or not, these players want more money for their families in future. So all that matters. So anyway, Rashford, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you happy. So, Cossy, thank you. Where can they follow you?
Of course, find me on Cossy on Twitter. My handle is Cossy. YouTube, Cossy's Arsenal Podcast. Instagram, Cossy19.
Awesome. So, Arsenal against Rangers in 57 minutes. Let's hope we get the victory. Cossy has done a preview. I've done a preview. Make sure you go and check those out. As of now, thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.